On the Missouri side of things, Robbie, you want to circle Sean East and then Terrence Shannon Jr. for Illinois.
Well, I think Sean East is certainly one of the best and most improved players in the SEC, but he's also one of the most improved players in all of college basketball. The last 4 games, all against high major opponents, 20 points a game, 6 assists, 51 from the field, a ridiculous 66% from 3, 10 of 15. He's been so efficient this season. On the flip side of that matchup, Terrence Shannon Jr. was good last year. He has been an All-American this season. Second in the Big Ten in scoring, shooting 41% from the three-point line, plays pick and roll, and you know he's electric in the open floor.
Last season, Robbie, Missouri got their biggest win in the history of the rivalry. It was a 22-point win. Prior year, Illinois had a lopsided win. It feels like we're due for a close one between these two sides. See, the series history dates back to 1932. Been playing in St. Louis since 1980. Illinois lead the all-time series 33-20. Missouri's won the last 5 times that Illinois has been ranked. So the Tigers have liked being the underdog in this matchup. Plenty of talent on both sides. Really intriguing, emotional matchup. Mentioned go back to 1980, being played here in St. Louis. It's been tight over the years as well. Should be another good one today. Our officials, Don Daly, Owen Short, and Courtney Green. Illinois seeking revenge. Mizzou would like to make it back-to-back years.
You can feel the buzz in this place. We've got a little delay over in front of our table here, and this is where, as a player, you're thinking, man, just throw the ball up and let these jitters get going, because the nervous energy in this building is a real thing.
There's a collective anxiousness within this building right now. Not a single person sitting down, and off we go as Noah Carter taps it back to Sean East. And Missouri gets the opening offensive possession of the game.
I want to see if Missouri can put together 40 minutes of consistent basketball. They've had stretches, but they have not been able to put together a full game. And certainly with their guard play, those guys, Sean East, Nick Hahn, are going to have to play well tonight.
Carter is another key part of their offensive element. He gets the first bucket of the day.
Well, that's a big shot for him. Just 5 of his last 29 from the field, 3 straight games in single digits. Clearly, Dennis Gates trying to get him going. First possession of the game on the block.
If you're a Missouri fan, you love to see that. Coleman Hawkins operating this Illinois offense, and the answer is right back.
That's a big-time drive right there. Coleman Hawkins, the ability to pick and pop. They've got to close out to him. I'd make him prove it from 3. Hasn't shot it great since coming back.
Pierce had room there.
That's a big boy rebound by Ty Rogers.
Climbing the ladder. He and Terrence Shannon can really get up and down the floor. The pace on display early, and free throws on the horizon for Terrence Shannon Jr.
Anytime Illinois gets a defensive rebound, if they find Terrence Shannon, it is off to the races. Missouri gonna have to load up, stop the bounce. Shannon, a guy that just lives at the foul line and is terrific in the open court.
Like you said, he's turned into one of the most complete players in the country. There's 20.9 points per game, ranked just behind Zach Edey in the Big Ten.
Just 14 points against Colgate on Sunday, which for him a little bit of a slow night. But you look at the 6 prior, almost 24 a game, 64% from 2, 44% from 3. He's made himself into a more complete player. Even look at the way he guarded in the Colgate game. Braden Smith, all-conference point guard for Colgate, locked him up.
It was a double-digit win over a Colgate team that's made the NCAA tournament each of the last 3 years. Missouri coming off back-to-back losses, 1 to Seton Hall, 1 to number 2 Kansas. Tigers looking to get back on track today. Carter has their first 2, goes back to work in that same spot. Couldn't cash in this time, battling for his own board, but right in the hands of Shannon. Boy, he is a one-man fast break, Robbie. All the way to the rim. Count that, plus the foul.
They used to say that about D. Brown, and he certainly was the human fast break, but Terrence Shannon is 2.0. Anytime he gets that defensive rebound, he is out there and going. Just a terrific display of body control, takes that contact on, goes right through it, and now an opportunity for 3.
We talked about it earlier today. I mean, he's just got that engine and motor. And he's tough to stop once he gets out quickly, especially off a rebound.
He's also got the work ethic. You don't become the player that Terrence Shannon Jr. has without getting in the gym and working on your game. And I would say that he's got that down as good as anybody.
He's been getting up at 4:45 a.m. practically every day that they're at home to work on his game in the facility. Guarding Carter there, got called for a foul.
You know, we asked Brad Underwood, why 4:45? Like, why the same work can be done at 8:30 or 10:30, depending on your class schedule? And he just said, man, he's up then. It's his sleep schedule. So whatever works for you, that's good. But man, that's an early wake-up call every morning.
Was your alarm set that early?
No, it was not. It was not at 4:45.
Everyone's trying to live in Terrence Shannon Jr.'s world this season. Here's Pierce driving against Hawkins. Floats it up off the eyeglass. How about that?
Well, how about they go with Trent Pierce in the starting lineup? Just 6 minutes in the loss against Seton Hall, end of the game. But he got in there 8 quick points. And right there, just a little dribble drive with that left hand, and he finds a way to go off glass.
Mizzou has been trying to piece the puzzles together in terms of their starting lineup. They've dealt with injuries, disruptions, in the words of their head coach. Meanwhile, in the corner, Damask a three, off the mark. Offensive rebound, pinballing around. It's going to go back to Missouri. And Brad Underwood, the head coach for Illinois. You see Dennis Gates on your screen there. And Gates, as we talked about, mentioned the disruptions within the season. They have had a tougher non-conference slate though than they did a season ago when they came into this matchup at 9-1. Then you see Brad Underwood on the opposite side. He has really loved coaching this team.
You can tell just in talking to Brad Underwood, just the positivity. Last year it wasn't always like that, and I think the role definition for Illinois has really stood out. Where for Missouri, you've got a lot of new faces out here. You lose your 3 top scorers from last season, and they're still trying to figure some things out. You mentioned that starting lineup.
Guerrier, corner three.
How about his jump shot and the way that's come along? Now 6 of his last 11 after starting 1 of 18 from 3. Clearly Illinois right now is living in the open floor.
Quincy Guerrier dealt with a wrist problem. Damask, another three, around and out. This crowd was on the edge of their seat. Roof might have exploded off had that one gone down.
And Damask has been the opposite of Guerrier. He is looking for his jumper. 1 of his last 11 from 3.
Damask, the Southern Illinois transfer. This Illinois team got older in the offseason. Noah Carter, he's looking for his stroke as well. Did get that first shot to go. Shannon Jr., Guerrier, what's his second three? Well, long, but into the hands of Hawkins.
Missouri's got to get back. I mean, Illinois is getting whatever they want. That's an air ball, but it's still a wide open shot.
They're turning it into a bit of a track meet.
No question. They did it at Tennessee as well, and so far Missouri has not been up for the task.
Guerrier drove that time and drew a foul. Pierce, the guilty party, and Guerrier's got such a versatile game. Another one of those players that makes this team older this year, coming over from Oregon, the grad student.
Just a real mature feel. I'm not sure what Trent Pierce can do right there. I mean, he's left his feet, so he's legal, but Guerrier just goes right through him. But I do think when you're talking about Quincy Guerrier and Marcus Damask, those 2 guys have played in so many games, been in so many situations, and they just want to win. You know, that's the biggest thing, and you can tell. You can tell when you watch Illinois play. Brad Underwood has talked about the attention to detail, the level that they have been able to operate at this year. It's just been pretty impressive to see a group that, sure, the core is back. You know, Ty Rodgers is back, Terrence Shannon is back, Coleman Hawkins is back, along with Dane Danger, but these new guys have fit in seamlessly.
He said it's a group that really has it's about the team mentality. You could feel the energy they were playing with at practice earlier today. Sean East, he's so under control, like you said, Rodney.
He's always playing off 2 feet, setting his teammates up, finds ways to score, just having a big-time year.
Averaging 17 points per game. There's his first bucket of the night.
Leads the SEC in 3-point field goal percentage at a ridiculous 60% from 3. Right there, that's just him making an individual play, going one-on-one and letting it go.
He got screened by Hawkins, who stays back on the pick-and-pop game. He can do that so well.
That's going to be there all night. Connor Vanover in that drop coverage. Play is set up beautifully, and Coleman Hawkins paying it off with the jumper.
going for the steal here on the opposite end. East lost it. Hawkins does get the steal. And he can do this too, dribbling up the floor. Shannon had that blocked by the 7'5" Connor Vanover.
Shannon thought there was any chance he was getting a hand on that.
A drive from Bates the opposite way. Free throws coming up.
Boy, get your running shoes ready out here because there is tempo. Missouri finally getting out. Got Tamar Bates finding something, but how about Sean East letting it fly from the perimeter? That's cash money, but Illinois is out and running. Coleman. Shot goes up for Missouri. You've got to have multiple guys back. It's not like the Tigers are a prolific offensive rebounding team. They're 243rd in offensive rebound percentage. So if you're not getting those things, get some guys back and stop that initial thrust by Illinois.
Tamar Bates at the free throw line right now. He's a guy, as you see Terrence Shannon Jr. on the bench there, who has been really vocal this year. You have to imagine maybe even more vocal given he transferred from Indiana, knows this Illinois team well.
He has to be playing with a lot of confidence. Coming off tying his career high in that Seton Hall loss, had 22, knocked down 4 threes, and I like Missouri here, just ramping this up and taking Illinois' temperature. No traditional point guard on the floor, seeing what they can get.
Ty Rodgers, who with the ball right now is kind of their point forward. Like you said, they want to take his temperature early in terms of how he can handle their pressure. Harmon, one of the older players who transferred to Illinois, Utah Valley. Rodgers was doubled down low.
By Vanover right there. He was ready. Honor in the post, and Vanover came right over to help.
It's some big help at 7'5".
Yes, it is.
East navigating well short. Nice contest there. Luke Goody has checked in for Illinois.
This is just good recognition. Nick Honor being put in the post by Ty Rodgers, and Vanover was just waiting on him. It's become such a big part of this Illinois offense. You know, Brad Underwood is lovingly nicknamed it booty ball after last year, the whole Jalen Pickett deal, and certainly taking some things that he liked and with his personnel, implementing that with his own team.
Now officials go to the scores table here. They're looking to see if the ball hit the rim on the last play. Now let's take a look at it here, Robbie.
I didn't think it did in real time, but yeah, I thought that came up short.
Almost have to see if the ball changes direction at all. And it does look like it was pretty short. Maybe grazed the net. Of course, if it did not, then the shot clock shouldn't reset. They're going to go back to 18 on the shot clock. Missouri will have the inbound. We'll say that did not hit the rim. The freshman Anthony Robinson from Tallahassee, Florida. Over to the veteran and Bates.
Really aggressive on that switch and trying to make Bates a little uncomfortable.
Illinois fans loved it. And they're going to get the basketball here back. It'll be Illinois ball. And here comes Mizzou with that full court pressure once again.
He dialed it up in the Seton Hall game, but it was a little bit out of desperation. And they had to do it because they were down so much. They've had some really inconsistent times this year, but they've also had times where they've really turned teams over.
Long rebound, go right back to Terrence Shannon. Shovels to Goody, his try. Into the hands of Robinson.
2 high-quality looks for Illinois there. 2 guys that shoot 40+% from 3. Illinois will take those.
Crossover from Honor. Rebound to Vanover. Mizzou can reload. Vanover 7'5", can knock down the 3. Terrence Shannon averaging 20 points per game this year, second in the Big Ten. This group off to a hot start. 0 for their last 4 from the field, though. winding down. It was at 5. Shaw the board.
But Damask really fools defenders with the ball. He waves that around, and it really freed him up right there.
Annual bragging rights matchup. Mizzou won it last year. They've beaten Illinois the last 5 times Illinois was ranked. Vanover now 0 of 2 from deep.
And Illinois is fine with giving that up. It's a wide open look.
What a drive from Shannon at the opposite end. That's their forte, getting out and running with him.
I mean, this has been the story of the first 7 minutes, is just Illinois able to secure the defensive rebounds, and then Terrence Shannon just punishing Missouri. He's getting to the rim, and there is not a single Tiger on the floor that's been able to stop him from doing it.
How do you stop that?
It's got to be multiple bodies. You've got to give some resistance early, try to slow him down, and that's easier said than done, but they're just letting him get a full head of steam, and by the time that you do finally get to him, it's just game over.
Well, Missouri gets a starter back in Noah Carter. Sean East back out there as well. So a swap there. Terrence Shannon Jr., you see there, he's taking pride on both ends of the floor.
No doubt about that. You look at Missouri, 3 of 13 from the field. When you're not making shots, you can't set your pressure. Certainly that they've had some good looks. Those last 2 Vanover shots, he's not shooting a great percentage on the year, just 20%. He shot it better at earlier stops at Oral Roberts in Arkansas, but if you don't make shots in this game, you're not going to be able to set your pressure, which is what Missouri needs to do.
Now 3 of 14 after that last missed 3. Gary has already knocked down a 3 of his own. Have to think a little extra motion for Illinois today after losing by 22 in this game a year ago. Guerrier's second 3.
Carter stopping the dribble, and what a decision by Terrence Shannon. You got 2 on you, kick to the corner, that strong side help coming over, and the 3-point line certainly paying dividends for Illinois, but Terrence Shannon seemingly making every play. The dribble drive, Guerrier's been hot. Those 3s going down.
It is such a cool atmosphere here at Enterprise Center. So one of the traditions of the rivalry is the Statue of Liberty competition, where the cheerleaders attempt to hold one another up on both sides. Who can go the longest?
Yeah, Missouri with the first dub of the night. Yeah. They had like 4 left, while Illinois just had 1. And this is a cool thing. I don't think that the TV does this justice, but to hear the crowd and see that, Missouri fans were hyped. That is the real deal right there.
Would you lift me up, or would I lift you up? How would that?
I think it'd be I'd lift you up.
There's some lift for Shaw, who climbed the ladder.
Nice little play coming out of that timeout. Aiden Shaw, always a lob threat. They throw it up to him, and he throws it down.
Jason Ross Jr., Robbie Hummel with you at Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Damask, tough drive off the window.
It really was. Aiden Shaw trying to heat the ball up. Damask under control, got to his body, and just finished right through him.
Quick transition game from East. Couldn't put the finishing touches on.
That's his deal, too. And he's off 2 feet in the lane. Good things are going to happen for Missouri.
That's working right now. It's been the story of the first 10 minutes of the game.
That's another transition bucket. Illinois with 8 fast break points, just not good enough by Missouri in transition.
Now Missouri's saying, we might need to answer
right back at
style. Yeah.
Illinois not matching up, and Nick Honor taking advantage.
Few 3s already for the Illini. There's another one coming from Terrence Shannon Jr.
Missouri is really helping on these dribble drives, and to stop the ball, that arm to leave some shooters. Nice drive down the center of the lane, and the kick out is there.
It was the 4-3 for Illinois. They're up 14. Last 2 games in this rivalry have been double-digit victories. Last year for Mizzou, prior year for Illinois. Now it's the Fighting Illini off to a great start here. This is going to stick with Mizzou to the dismay of the...
Yeah, Justin Harmon can't believe it.
Yeah. He'll check out.
We have just seen Illinois thrive in the open court, and this is almost a little bit like a secondary action, but what a cut from Terrence Shannon. Get to the strong side, And then DeMass driving the rock. That help comes in there from the right corner, and Terrence Shannon's locked and loaded.
East only had 2 to shoot it.
Illinois really guards. I mean, their analytics tell you that, but when you see it in person, you've got the size, you've got the physicality. They finish possessions of the defensive glass. You can see why Brad Underwood likes coaching this team. They've got some dudes out here.
You could see it on Brad Underwood's face, his smile, his energy when he talked about this year's group. Here's his leader, Terrence Shannon. Coleman Hawkins, that Swiss Army knife type of player. He has been more aggressive offensively lately, too. Pretty pass, good ball movement. Ultimately back to Hawkins.
Oh, what a rebound.
Gary just snatched that out of the air.
I thought that hit off Garrier's foot. I thought when he dribbled that was off. I think they're going to change the call. I'd love to see a replay because that's on the far side of the floor from us, but
Guerrier would say otherwise, but instead
he was incredulous.
Illinois will have to get back on defense here. Guerrier is guarding East. You'd think it's a good matchup for Illinois.
Well, Guerrier is such a versatile defender. I mean, this is where Illinois certainly can switch 4 ways if they want to. He can guard a lot of different people.
To your point, right after I said that, he was guarding Hunter. Meanwhile, Carter gets that right back and flips it up and in.
Well, you've got 3 fighting Illini right there, and Noah Carter is the lone Missouri Tiger. He comes up with it and steals a bucket.
Hawkins. Oh, that's what he saw there, and drilled a 3.
Missouri is really helping there. You got Nick Honor digging in on that basketball into the painted area, just not closing out to Coleman Hawkins, and he can make those.
Mizzou just 6 of 21 from the field. Illinois operating off rebounds. Found Shannon Jr., and he's headed back to the free throw line again.
It's like a broken record. I mean, every time Illinois is able to get their job done on the defensive glass, they are throwing it ahead. And the scary thing about this team, even though there is no quote-unquote traditional point guard, Shannon can handle, DeMass can handle, Hawkins can handle, Rogers can handle, and Guerrier can handle. And all 5 guys on the floor for Illinois right now can get a defensive rebound and break out and start the break. And that's what we've seen for the first 11 minutes of this game.
Last season, mentioned Illinois lost this game by 22. Brad Underwood felt his team had a good week of practice leading up to that game. Then it, for whatever reason, just didn't carry over. They didn't execute. They felt they were out-executed by Missouri. Today, they're executing to a T really on both ends of the floor about a year later.
Well, last year, the bad shots and the turnovers just killed them.
Lewis, count that one. He's going to go to the line for 1 more as well.
How about Kurt Lewis? Hasn't scored in 4 games, but Dennis Gates looking for a bit of a spark off the bench, and this is the Junior College Player of the Year from last year. In transition, just making a nice drive. Kurt Lewis making something happen with the bounce.
It's almost like we need something.
Yeah, right.
Let's bring in someone who can give it to us.
7 of 22 from the field, 1 of 10 from 3. Against a team that's as good as Illinois, number 13 team in the country. That's not going to get it done.
Implement that press here.
Here they come to heat it up.
Going to stay with Illinois. Dennis Gates in his 2nd season with Missouri guided them to their first NCAA tournament win in 13 years last year. Beat Utah State in the 1st round and lost to Princeton in the 2nd round. Step back 3 for Hawkins.
I know you just made one, but I don't love the shot for Coleman Hawkins.
Keep it in the flow. Meanwhile, Lewis is looking for his 2nd bucket.
It's twice now, though. Lewis has gotten to the rim and gotten good looks on 2 consecutive drives.
Sean East, Missouri's leading scorer, steps out to guard Rogers. Then there's a foul. Trent Pierce getting set to check back in for Missouri. And Mizzou coming off that 6-point loss to Seton Hall. That game was played in Kansas City. They didn't really love the way they defended in that matchup either. And today facing an Illinois team that's laced up their track shoes.
I just didn't feel like they played with the same energy and intensity they did in Kansas. I thought in Kansas they really competed. Got off to a good start. Certainly bad start to the second half, but they fought the Jayhawks.
Hawkins, nice late pass down to Goody. Able to finish before the shot clock expired, or did he? They're going to review it. It looked like in real time that he did.
I thought he got it off just barely. All right. They're going to come over and talk to us. I think we're going to take a break, and we'll see it on the other side.
We'll have an update for you when we come back on FS1. Clock had expired.
Well, when Coleman Hawkins put this on the floor, I thought, man, that's a mistake. There's not going to be enough time. But Lou Goody, with just enough time to spare, able to get that out of his hands, and that's a good bucket. Coleman Hawkins making a play into shot clock.
Hearing Coleman Hawkins speak after they went over Colgate, you just feel how much of a command and calmness he has in terms of knowing this offense. Of course, it's been here for a few years. And then the calmness in situations like that.
I think with Coleman Hawkins, and we've seen a little bit tonight, that would be a situation where I'm thinking that's late clock. You've got to shoot that. But then we have the step back three that Brad Underwood doesn't like. And I think Coleman Hawkins, we saw him even patting his chest and saying, my bad. There's still times where he shoots shots where he's not open and he passes when he is. And I think that's just an ongoing battle for him and something that he is always kind of fighting.
Jesus Carolero Martin has checked in for the Tigers as Dennis Gates continues to search and try to piece the puzzle together in this opening half with his team down 15. Pierce a three. That's out of bounds.
Missouri is just ice cold from three. They are now 1 of 12 from the three-point line.
Extra pass, pump fake from Shannon Jr. Nice possession for Illinois. Couldn't get points out of it. Basketball is going back to Mizzou. Foul called down low there.
Good block out there by Trent Pierce. And that shot went up. Missouri in rotation again defensively, but Pierce finding the body of Ty Rodgers, and just well done, well executed.
Noah Carter checks back in for Dennis Gates. One thing Dennis Gates has said about his team, he loves their compete level. That's what he loves the most about coaching this year's group. They're going to need some resilience right now. The team that has led at the half in this rivalry has won the last 15 matchups.
That's an incredible stat.
Isn't it?
They got him. Good cut.
Started with a nice pass. Again, though, just couldn't knock down the shot at the end, and you're looking at 1 of 12 from distance.
They have had some quality looks and just haven't been able to pay them off.
7 assists on this end for Illinois. Damask ran into some trouble, but ultimately gave the Illini their 8th assist of the night.
High-level stuff from Damask right there. Tries to go right, dribble gets cut off, and then what a dime drop to Coleman Hawkins there in the middle of the paint.
I think they got Rodgers for the foul there. He's guarding Sean East. Harmon will check back in for Illinois. Chicago native who transferred from Utah Valley said it was surreal to put on that Illini uniform for the first time. Mar Bates, who transferred from Indiana, so he knows this Illini team well, to Missouri. A Kansas City native. Grew up just a couple of hours away. Mizzou was actually one of his top choices out of high school before initially committing to Indiana. Carter, the rebound, goes up strong. Gotta like the work early on from Noah Carter.
Just no block out there, and Noah Carter getting to the front of the rim. And Anthony Robinson going one-on-one with Terrence Shannon. You get it go in and out, but Carter making a play on the ball and stealing points off the offensive glass.
Hawkins, catch and shoot, had time to set his feet and drilled it.
I would say by now, Missouri's got to adjust their game plan with Coleman Hawkins. He is in quite the rhythm now. 3 of 5 from 3. They've got to stop leaving him wide open at the three-point line.
He's got 13 first-half points to back up the season-high 16 last time out against Colgate. East carving, couldn't finish. Excellent defense from the Fighting Illini. Damask, Hawkins thought about a heat check there, maybe. He thought about it. Instead, better shot. Damask in the corner. Rebound for Robinson. Missouri needs some momentum going into the locker room. East about as open of a look as he's had tonight.
There's a lid on the rim for a Missouri team that made 12 three-pointers in the loss against Seton Hall.
Illinois has been #1 in the Big Ten in opponent field goal percentage overall. And that number is might get better if this one continues to trend this direction. Illinois has also been the best rebounding team in the Big Ten. They're top 3 in offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, rebounding margin in the Big Ten Conference.
If you're Missouri right now, you're not going to win this game if your best players don't play like your best players. You know, if Sean East, Nick Honor, Noah Carter, and Tamar Bates aren't doing their thing, it's going to be hard to keep up with this Illinois team offensively. I think Noah Carter has pulled his weight. He leads the team in scoring with 6, but everybody else has just been ice cold.
Flip that over. Terrence Shannon Jr. and Coleman Hawkins have combined for 26 points.
Those guys have been tremendous.
Shot clock's winding down again on Mizzou. Carter with 2 on the shot clock. Couldn't get it to go.
They are right there at the rim. 2 point-blank looks, and they come up empty-handed once again.
Monty Hansberry checked in for Illinois. His first run of the night. Damask, a little claustrophobic down low. Didn't matter.
I mean, how much more difficult is that shot than some of the open threes that he's had tonight? But that's his deal. Damask so comfortable with the turnaround jumper. He can post you. He's a physical driver. Dribble contained by Illinois has been terrific. There's just really nothing there on these individual drives from Missouri.
Robinson, not a single Illini fan is sitting down right now. Big reason of that is Terrence Shannon Jr. into the corner. Oh, that's long. Tamar Bates trying to stem the tide. That lid remains on the hoop, though.
Damask with a great closeout. He flew out there at Tamar Bates and affected that shot.
Guerrier wants another 3. His 3rd, plus a foul.
That is not an easy catch. To go up top, find your balance, come down and let it fly. Illinois out in transition, flying around, making play after the Honor 1 of 2. You know, Honor, he's a guy that they need to score, and if you've taken 2 shots, I don't even know if you can't even make the decision if you're having a good shooting game or not, because you've only given it 2 cracks. And Sean East is 1 of 5, but the ball has not gone through the basket. The transition defense has been an issue, but they need some of their top dogs to do their thing out here.
Missouri won this matchup 93-71 last year. It was polar opposite in terms of the reaction we're getting right now from one side of the crowd versus the other. The play on the floor. Brett Underwood, the Illinois head coach, told us it didn't really feel the need to remind his team of what happened last year.
That was a little surprising, but he made a good point when he said, you know, it's such a new team for them, new team for us, and they've got a couple guys that are holdovers here, but that's where some of these rivalries have really changed. You think about like Duke, Carolina, and how hated Hansborough and J.J. Redick are because they stayed for a long time.
Terrence Shannon Jr. is a player who did play in this game last year. He had 22 points against Missouri. Was kind of maybe the lone bright spot in that loss. Saw him dive to the floor there. This will stick with Missouri. Nick Honor will inbound here, the grad student. Bates coming off the career high 22, matched his career high. And over back in, tallest player in the nation at 7'5". This will stick with the Tigers once again.
Coleman Hawkins doing a nice job of pushing Connor Vanover off that block, and even though Vanover's 7'5", I thought Hawkins did a tremendous job still contesting that hook.
Sean East, Mizzou's leading scorer, that want him to get involved here. Vanover still hasn't hit a three. Mizzou 0 for their last 10 from deep.
I think with Vanover, Illinois is content to leave him open for a reason. They want him shooting those shots.
Harmon coughed it up. Rare turnover today for Illinois. Bates showcasing the footwork, used that pivot foot pretty well there.
Really good help defense there by Aiden Shaw. Just being to the basketball, starting the break, and Tamar Bates able to find his way around the rim.
Nearly it is back-to-back steals for Missouri. And the foul the other way. Damas got back. Should be free throws coming up here for Missouri.
I think this is what Mizzou needs to do. I mean, at this point, you're down 22. I would ramp this press up, ramp up your pressure to force some turnovers and make Illinois uncomfortable.
That's what we thought needed to be the name of the game for them going in. But Illinois got up and down the floor. If you tuned in late, it was like a track meet in the first few minutes. And Illinois was winning the races.
They threw the first punch, and boy, it was a haymaker.
Missouri on the ropes now. Kind of dangling back and forth, trying to find a rhythm. Aiden Shaw, a guy who is super athletic, bright future. We watched a video earlier today on Twitter. He dunked an 18-pound medicine ball with no shoes on.
That was as impressive as anything I've seen, not even just today, in a long time. I mean, to dunk a medicine ball like that's incredible.
That's ridiculous stuff. They want him to rebound well. Harmon couldn't catch it.
Really helping to the ball. What a rebound by Luke Goody. Jordan Butler, the freshman, going up, thinks he's got that thing secured, and Goody says no way, just rips it away. It's a great hustle play from Goody, and you think of him as a shooter, and he certainly is that, but he defends, plays with a high IQ, and he's been much better this year going to the offensive boards.
You mentioned at that point of rebounding, it's been such an emphasis for the Illinois staff over the last month or so. They work on it every day.
Yeah, that was interesting hearing Brad Underwood say that, because you think of this Illinois team and their size, and you're thinking, well, they'll be naturally good at rebounding because they've got big bodies, they've got athletes, they've got length. But he said that they do rebounding drills every day, and it's something they focused on, and certainly that has paid off for this group.
Their game plan on Sean East has been a good one today. Honor with 100 seconds to go in the opening half. It's all been contested. Bodies go barreling down on the baseline.
Offense just feels so difficult for Missouri right now. I mean, every shot for the most part has been contested, and outside of the threes that haven't gone down, Illinois' dribble contain has been terrific. That was a tough look from Nick Honor right there.
And now it's double bonus free throws for Illinois the rest of the way in this opening half. Illinois at one point had a stretch of 4 straight games with at least 50 team rebounds, which sounds pretty ridiculous. It was the first time they've had a stretch of that long, 50-plus rebounds since the early 60s. Now, they are rebounding at almost an unprecedented rate right now, at least unprecedented for a while. Shannon Jr. cashes in on the second free throw. He's got 14 first-half points on 4 of 7 from the field and 4 assists to go with it. East's at Rome. tried to get his own board. Instead, he has to try to catch up to Terrence Shannon Jr. That's not been fun tonight for Missouri. Hawkins, such a good passer, wanted a foul there, didn't get it. Bates the opposite way. Shovels to Shaw. Back to Bates. Oh, nice move.
Illinois was just never under control on that possession. Missouri had sped them up. Find something off that turnover. I think that they've got to really dial it up. See if they run and jump at Terrence Shannon here.
Into the final minute of the opening half. Dennis Gates will help up Terrence Shannon Jr. There should be more free throws coming up here. Illinois loved their start against Colgate last time out. They had a 12-0 lead. Replicated that today with another hot start in a game that means so much to both fan bases. Incredible crowd here at Enterprise Center tonight. The Illini fans have liked to show a little more than the Tigers fans that have traveled for this one. Last year it was like
a different story. Yeah, I mean, it was a beatdown in the first half. Missouri scored 50+ points. Illinois was in a bit of disarray. It's kind of been roles reversed here tonight. Illinois trying to hang a 50 spot on the Tigers.
Missouri won that game last year 93-71. Block from Hawkins.
Nick Honor has really struggled this year at the rim. Just 37% on shots around the basket. There, he thinks he's got a lane, and Coleman Hawkins, I believe that was, just put that thing in the stands.
Can Missouri find a way to end this half on a high note? Three from Butler. Get the hops there from Terrence Shannon Jr. going up for the rebound. Shot clock's off now. .16 points for Terrence Shannon Jr. He's going to go to the free throw line here. Chance for a couple more with 11.8 to go in the opening half. He's been giving the Illini fans an early Christmas present today.
He's just such a tough guard. That explosiveness. Now you throw in the shot making where he's shooting 40+ from three. His decision making has been terrific. I mean, he has played this year like an All-American.
It's really
truly has upped his level after a season where he was really good last year.
Yeah,
he's all Big Ten, and he's just worked on his game and made himself into one of the best players in the country.
I mean, it's like 50-40-90 numbers. 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, 80% from the free throw line. Couldn't hit that one. Extends the lead. 6 seconds to go for Missouri. That's tapped away.
Nowhere to go. They can look up and get another one here.
Now Illinois has been running. This could be enough time. Hawkins wanted to run off.
He went Steph Curry and turned around before it even got to the basket.
Maybe a little too much style at the end there. But for the most part, it was grade A style throughout the course of that opening half for Illinois. You see between those three in comparison to Missouri's 24. So they've gone back and forth now these last couple of years in this rivalry. Last year, Missouri walloped Illinois. The year prior to that, Illinois won by 25. It's kind of gone back and forth this way. See if Missouri has an answer in them. Can't imagine halftime was very fun.
They're going to have to use their pressure to get back in this game. We'll see how quickly they show that.
Guerrier had 3 triples in the opening half. Gets into the paint here.
Oh, it looks like he's in some real pain. Came down awkwardly on that leg.
Remember, he battled through that wrist problem for about 6 weeks. He feels like he's back to his normal self now, and the shot's going down because of it.
That's Noah Carter's bread and butter. He gets back to that right jump hook, and it's what you want from Missouri, but nothing doing.
Noah Carter to score the very first points of the game in exactly that fashion. That was the only lead for Missouri, right? Up 2-0. Damask thought about a three, said steps in.
But right there, you got to know your personnel. I mean, Damask has missed his last 12 threes, and you've got Nick Gunner just flying by him.
This has been the story. Offensive glass for Illinois, not just in this game, all season long.
Just relentless on the glass. Guerrier getting there, and then Ty Rogers just finishing it off.
Dennis Gates has gone pretty deep into his lineup today, and that's going to count, plus the foul. So an opportunity on the and one coming up for Trent Pierce.
Illinois can really get you on the offensive boards. Here's that block first. This is where that new rule comes into play, where once that plant foot is down, you have got to be established, and we're seeing way more blocks this season with that coming into play.
Pierce couldn't hit the free throw there. They doubled on her back. That's coming. You wanted to see more of this, and Pierce couldn't cash in. A second chance and another and one for Trent Pierce.
I just think at this point, what do you have to lose if you're Missouri? Run and jump, 2-2-1. Start turning up this pressure on Illinois, and as soon as Damask turned his back, just a great read by Trent Pierce of making his way to the ball, smelling some blood in the water, staying with the play, and finishing it off for the three-point play.
This time he does convert on the and one free throw. Missouri's lost 2 games in a row, one to number 2 Kansas, one to Seton Hall. Those are both single-digit losses. They brought a lot of energy against Kansas. Couldn't really sustain it for the entire game against Seton Hall. 7-4 start for the Tigers. Illini number 13 in the nation, 8-2 on the year. Already a Big Ten win over Rutgers as well. 3 in the corner, the 4th 3 of the game for Quincy Guerrier.
Must think he's throwing it in the ocean right now with the confidence he's shooting. Remember, 1 of 18 from 3 to start the year, and that's totally changed.
Flip side of that, Missouri, you need to see more of that from Sean East if you're going to come back.
They're going to need him to make plays. He took 5 shots in that first half, and East with the killer crossover lost his man and let it go.
Just like a freight train the opposite way goes Terrence Shannon Jr. So Gary, it seems like it's from the same corner here, Robbie.
Well, he knows where his bread is buttered. He is running to this left corner, and Illinois is finding him. Whether it's Terrence Shannon, certainly doing the job on both ends. Finding his shooter, and Guerrier continuing to stay hot from 3.
Illini as a team have drilled 8 threes today. Terrence Shannon Jr. leading all scorers in this one, up to 18 points now. He's been in the gym at 4:45 a.m. every day at their facilities, working on his game, kind of motivates the other guys to know he's in the gym that early. Preseason All Big Ten first team player for a reason. East to pirouette in the paint. Teardrop for 2.
And you get the feeling, Jason, that Sean East understands that he's going to have to take over and be assertive offensively. That's back-to-back possessions where he's just going and making plays. Missouri is really helping. That's a strong side drive for a guy that's knocked down 4 threes.
The long arms of Bates caused some disruption there. Ball is still loose.
Man, good hustle, though, by Missouri.
It was. That's the kind of effort you need right now. Even though it's not going your way, you need that. That's what they probably discussed in the locker room.
I don't think Bates realized that ball was still in play and slowly rolling. Job of getting that hand in the passing lane. Oh, yeah. And it was moving. I mean, that's Sean East flying in there, but we'll certainly take that from Tamar Bates trying to make something happen on the defensive end of the floor. Illinois has got to be aware of the shot clock here. 11 seconds, so they got to catch this and go. Something quickly.
Missouri trying to slow him down with the backcourt pressure. Rogers, his first year as a starter, he'll take it himself and draw a foul.
It's That's exactly what Illinois needed. They had to take that thing and get to the rim immediately. I thought that would have been a time for Missouri to run a jump. Certainly you're taking a gamble, but just to slow them down a little bit. Ty Rodgers basically caught that, speed dribbled, and got all the way. That was just not shooting from him.
That is interesting. We'll have to get an answer on that one instead. This should be a shooting foul for Quincy Guerrier. It's kind of been the mentality for Illinois. No matter what the call, just quickly flip over to the next possession. See Brad Underwood there. His team again was on the wrong side of a lopsided game in this rivalry a year ago. They have come to play today. He calls it one of the most unique rivalries he's coached in and been a part of. Just the neutral site element of it, the 50-50 crowd split. Fighting Illini fans getting an early Christmas gift so far today in St. Louis.
Think about this too, Jason. Most rivalries are in-state. Yeah. Think about Indiana-Purdue or Duke-Carolina. On top of that, they're usually in conference, so this is a very unique game and one that I'm glad to see it's been extended on to 2029.
Yep, we just learned that today. Honor didn't get a call there. And the three-point line has been just a drop today for Missouri. 2 of 19.
That's something they've done well on the year. They shoot 36% from 3 on the season, almost 10 a game.
Been one of the best in the SEC at that. Nice block coming over there from Aiden Shaw. The athleticism we talked about from him. But Rodgers, like a defensive back, read that pass.
Coleman Hawkins just trying to take Trent Pierce one-on-one. And I think that actually hit off the backboard before Aiden Shaw got to it. Still an athletic play, but Hawkins a little bit out of control.
Checking in will be Kurt Lewis, who had some good energy that he brought to the table in the opening half.
Look at how physical Ty Rodgers is. Robinson's coming off that ball screen, and Ty Rodgers is just totally taking it away.
Robbie, these guys are so athletic. Feels like they can switch everything.
No, they can, but they play drop coverage a lot. You got Coleman Hawkins kind of roaming, and that's just a tough finish right there. And those types of buckets count.
Not making it easy. Mizzou has made 4 of their last 5 from the field now. Scorers today. And Guerrier, the Montreal native, whips it out to Damask. Nice extra pass from Hawkins, but a block from behind by Shaw. Oh, what's that going to be? That going to be goaltend there? It will be. They'll call it as a counted bucket. And these teams playing for the bragging rights trophy tonight. Illinois trying to get it back. They're up 22. It's holiday season. And it's bragging rights season. Here's a goaltend that it was counted a goaltend on the floor, and it looks like they're going to keep it that way. So the basket should count there.
Yeah, pretty close, but I think with that call on the floor, seeing that video is going to be pretty hard to overturn that. I like that new rule. I think, it doesn't stop play. They go to it in the media timeout, and I think you'll see refs err on the side of calling more goaltend because you can always go over there and certainly take a look.
Yep.
So if it's close, you call it, and then once you get to that under 16 or under 12, you look at it and confirm it or take it off.
That was the perfect time for it to happen. Then we went right to that under 16. A Missouri team that has 1,135 games of Division I experience. It's an older team. They know how to bounce back. On the verge of potentially losing 3 straight if they don't get a big comeback here. Looks like we got a foul on the floor. Appears to be against Illinois. I think they got Gary.
I like that action, though, Missouri just ran. Using that back screen, East had an opportunity, and with Aiden Shaw in the corner, kick out to him, but certainly got that Illinois defense to get the rotation.
Pierce brought a spark to open the half for Mizzou. And he gets a bucket there as Shannon Jr. went down. He had those and ones early on. Trent Pierce, Mizzou's highest ranked recruit since 2017. Rogers is a highly touted player out of high school himself. Lost it there in the lane. Now back comes Lewis. Lewis into the lane himself.
Nice challenge there by Damas, not fouling, but going up vertically.
A quick moving offensive exhibition tonight for the Fighting Illini.
The passing, especially on the interior for Illinois in this second half, has been just tremendous. And that thing is popping around, and they're sharing the rock.
Nice drive and a nifty finish with the left hand. That's out for Sean East.
Just splits that ball screen, and the rocket is just right to the rim.
Dennis Gates calls timeout for Missouri. His team down 22 in this bragging rights battle. In series history happened 30 years ago today. The 1993 bragging rights game went to triple overtime. Lamont Frazier hit a three to tie it in regulation. Kawan Garris had one of the most memorable performances in that game for Illinois. Had a sensational game-high 31. Jason Sutherland for Mizzou opened the third overtime with a triple, ultimately guiding Missouri on their way to a 1.108-107 win. Missouri won 18 of their next 19 games that season, went on to the Elite Eight. Illinois made the NCAA tournament, lost in the first round that year. Just one of the many indelible moments in this rivalry.
Think about all the great players that have played in this game. You know, whether it's, you mentioned Kewan Garris or D. Brown, Darren Williams. You look at the other side with Ricky Paulding, Keon Dooley, and Kim English. I mean, there's just so many good players and pros that have played in this rivalry.
Illinois assistant coach Chester Frazier, who was unbeaten as a player,
he'll tell you, very proud of it.
Terrence Shannon Jr., who nails the three there, came out in warm-ups today, Robbie, with a Chester Frazier T-shirt on, to try to amp himself up.
Finding some inspo right there, and he gets to that dribble dance and he starts crossing over. That's just him finding his rhythm.
That was a cool T-shirt, too. He extends this lead to 25. Game high for Illinois. Offensive rebound and the effort from Robinson there. Shot clock, though, at 5.
Ty Rogers getting a stance at guard.
It's just been so
big time. Great help there, too, by Coleman Hawkins. Size is hard to deal with for a small guard.
Foul called in transition there. So tough to stay in front of Terrence Shannon Jr.
This is Shannon's deal. You know, that crossover, see him get to that. Left to right action, loses his defender, and it's just game on from there.
He's up to 22 points. 13 minutes to go in the second half. More substitutions for Dennis Gates' team. Brings back in Jesus Carolero Martin, along with Tamar Bates. Damask, as you mentioned, struggling from 3. Dishes it back out to Shannon Jr. Drives to Rogers, shoveling, extra pass. Pretty ball movement. Couldn't finish. Oh, the follow-up attempt from Rogers didn't go down.
Wow. I thought Ty Rogers maybe could have shot that layup. Great ball movement. He had an opportunity at the rim there.
It's an unselfish group.
The ball movement for Illinois, though, has just been outstanding.
Dazzling stuff.
This second half has been a clinic in good offense. I thought that's the one where Rogers could have shot it, but it's swing. Damas gets a good look. This almost ends up being a poster for Rogers. I'm sure Brad Underwood, he loves to see possessions like that, and that's what he's seen for most of this second half.
Mizzou team that's been a really good three-point shooting group this year. Just 2 of 19 from beyond the arc today. Tamar Bates, former Hoosier, now Tiger, gets his own second chance bucket there.
Stayed with it. Went to the rim, missed the first one, never quit on the play, and found a way to finish that shot off.
Tamar Bates' dad graduated from Missouri. And the steal there from Pierce might be potentially a hard tumble to the baseline there. Good to see Robinson get up with the help of his teammates. Hawkins came over to contest. They are going to review it. Looks like he was going for the ball. Contact. We will go to break as they look at it and review that last sequence for a potential upgrade. So back here at Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Jason Ross Jr., Robbie Hummel, this play they were reviewing for potential upgrade. It's going to stay a common foul.
Well, I honestly think Coleman Hawkins was adamant that really he didn't make contact, and from seeing not this angle right here, look at the left arm. I mean, he goes up, he initiates the contact, Hawkins whiffs. And honestly, Missouri is fortunate to be shooting 2 fouls, even though Anthony Robinson went down hard.
Yep. Robinson, the freshman, his first bragging rights game. Look at this matchup, and like you said earlier, Robbie, you have so many transfers, new players. Almost need to re-emphasize at times the importance of the rivalry.
I think coaches have had to teach, you know, like when you look at the D. Brown, Darren Williams teams or the Kim English Missouri teams, you're talking about learning from the upperclassmen about the rivalry, and it's just different. You know, it's Tamar Bates. Last year he's told to hate Purdue, and this year now he's supposed to hate Illinois. It's an interesting dynamic.
A steal from Robinson in the backcourt, and he gets it up.
That's what he does. 7th in the SEC in steals, top 20 amongst all freshmen in college basketball. He said it when he committed. He's a guy that wants to get after you defensively. It's quite the play. And if I'm Missouri, I'm just running and jumping, and I'm looking to turn Illinois over as much as I can.
Robinson comes from an athletic family. His dad played college baseball, mom played college basketball. He's defending tightly again there. Look at the freshman again.
There's the run and jump, just the active hands. I just think Missouri needs to do more of that. 11:35 to play. You're down 20. See why you wouldn't.
Missouri has flipped over the points off turnovers in the second half in their favor. They just got dug in such a deep hole, have trailed by as much as 25. Brad Underwood was still coaching away in that last time out for his Illini team. Tamar Bates shovels. Carolero Martin bangs down the 3.
What a sequence for him. The good defense on Shannon in the post, and then he just trails into the play. Missouri finding something with some pace, and that initial surge allows Martin to just find that open shot from the perimeter.
And Mizzou continue to find it on this end. A turnover, and it'll go back to the Tigers.
Just think Missouri needs more of this pressure. This pass there from Tamar Bates, and it's as simple as a driving kick. Martin the beneficiary.
Missouri fans starting to find a little juice. Robbie, if you could get this to under a 15 game.
They're looking for anything to cheer about, and it's been a rough night, but still 11 minutes to play. If they just make some shots and get this crowd into it, anything can happen in a game like this.
Steal from Hawkins. Can't do that when you're trying to come back. And then a foul called. It's a Missouri foul. Aiden Shaw is going to check back in here for Mizzou. So after that steal, it's kind of just a hold that took place here.
Just a smart play, honestly, by Nick Honor to stop the break. And that was not the response that Missouri needed. And now finally have a little bit of momentum, and the turnover is just a killer.
That's what got you in this hole in the opening half. Rogers, the extra pass has been the name of the game today for the Illini.
Good offense, though, by Illinois. What an effort by Rogers on the offensive glass.
Another offensive board. Contest at the rim. And a foul called. Carolina Martin, the guilty party. Just an effort on the glass that has been unstoppable today.
Yeah, Ty Rogers just with the extra effort. It's a great cut. He got Luke Goody a wide open shot. Boy, I thought that was a lot of ball on that replay.
The rebounding efforts really percolated throughout the roster. Marcus Damask heading to the line. His dad, Dan, introduced him to the game when he was younger, coached him growing up. You see Dennis Gates there, Brad Underwood, two excellent coaches that love this rivalry. The Orlando native working around the screen.
He's just got some good looks. He's haven't been able to get him to go.
This will stick with Missouri. Yeah, threes just have not dropped today for a typically really good three-point shooting team from Missouri.
Honor had been playing well. 3 games since he went scoreless at Pitt. 15 a game. Over 40% from 3. He's got some quality looks tonight, but what's it doing? 1 of 7 from the field.
Illinois with the ball. Illinois has been so patient today.
They're going to get Honor with the hold.
Yep. He got matched up against Hawkins. Honor is about 5'10", and Coleman Hawkins is 6'10". It was harder than it looked. You understand why he got called for the foul there. Illinois already in the bonus with 9:48 to go in the game. Mizzou had beaten Illinois in this rivalry the last 5 times the Fighting Illini were ranked. They like to be in the underdog in this game in the past. But today, an opening half statement for Illinois and trying to finish it off. They're already 1-0 in Big Ten play. Beat Rutgers in the game that doubled as Brad Underwood's 200th game as their head coach. Last year was Missouri's largest win in the history of the rivalry. They won it by 22 last year. It was Dennis Gates' first season as head coach for Missouri. Went on to a 25-win season that finished up in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The loss to Princeton, first NCAA tournament win for Missouri in 13 years after beating Utah State in the first round. Up today. His looks have been so tough, but he's a good scorer, excellent scorer. He's got his points per game average up about 10 points from where they were a season ago.
Welcome to the weight room there. I mean, he just wheeled and dealed and used that physicality right at Justin Harmon.
Nice pump fake from Shannon Jr. Gonna go to the line for one more. That's a feel thing to know there's a guy coming down.
Absolutely. Certainly something that all scorers develop over their time, and it just seems like the game has slowed down so much for Terrence Shannon. That's going to be the end of the night for Aiden Shaw.
So he is gone. Really athletic rebounder for them on a night in which they've struggled on the glass. Won't return with 9:10 to go in the game. Terrence Shannon Jr. will have one more free throw left here. Robbie, you also think about where these teams were when they played a season ago versus now. Missouri, after they beat Illinois last year, backed that game up with a win over Kentucky.
Yeah.
And for Illinois, it almost felt like it was the start of something kind of going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and they kind of were hit or miss the rest of the year. Certainly Missouri with a great first year under Dennis Gates. You lose some pros. Kobe Brown was quite the player at 31 in this game last year. You just feel like Illinois is much further along, even though there's new faces. Missouri's still trying to figure some things out here.
The bench tweaked their starting lineup. Caleb Grill, one of their key players off the bench, who plays about 25 minutes. His honor gets the bucket to go for Missouri. Grill's been out. This Illinois team older this year. You just see it with their maturity.
Their size, too, stands out. They had some little guards last year. Now they're going to have to handle the ball. Missouri finally forcing some turnovers. How about Shannon going right back at it?
Some athletic balance to keep it in bounds. Up to Hawkins. The drop back for the trailer is Shannon Jr.
Made every play there. The hustle to turn over Missouri and then ran the floor, and Hawkins paid it off.
And he skies for the board on the opposite end. Entire Illini bench is up. And they're loving it.
He is just willing his way to the rim. This is a clinic from Terrence Shannon. Gotta love the hustle and the heart that Terrence Shannon is playing with. Gets back in bounds, and then he is running this floor, looking for his own offense. Coleman Hawkins, little Euro step, and Terrence Shannon Jr. just finding a way to score it.
Villanova will be on FS1 tomorrow against DePaul. I'm heading to Chicago for that one.
Early flight.
Yeah, the early one. I'm just trying to get on your level of early flights, my friend. The 4 a.m. alarms. We got to hit
one of the real perks of the job.
We'll get in the gym with Terrence Shannon Jr. at 4:45 a.m. He tried to contest a shot there, but he goes up anyway from Carter, who's been a bright spot today for Missouri.
That was like a prayer, honestly. Multiple Illinois defenders around there, and Noah Carter, that thing just reached the top of the backboard.
Passing's been crisp today for Illinois.
Yes. Here's another example. Dribble drive by Guerrier and Rogers with the pivot.
Oh, nice pump fake at the opposite end from East.
That's where he's at his best. When he can play off 2 feet, whether it's a step through, turnaround jumper, he's got a bunch of different moves he can go to.
Coleman Hawkins gets fouled at the opposite end. A 21-point lead for Illinois. It's been as high as 25. Illini lead the all-time series 33-20. Were blown out last year here, 93-71. Have flipped the script around about a year later. Got fifth-year seniors in Damask and Guerrier, and transfers. Fifth-year senior in Terrence Shannon Jr. Got a senior in Coleman Hawkins. Rogers has another year under his belt. A lot of potential for this Illinois team this year.
High ceiling. I think this is the second best team in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah, I know our friend Stephen Bardo agree with you on that.
Purdue has certainly had quite the non-conference, but Illinois has been impressive in their own right. Look at their resume. Some of their wins have been some of the best wins that the Big Ten has accrued. You end up going, I guess you look at this stretch where you're on the road at Rutgers, neutral site Florida Atlantic, then you went on the road to Tennessee, play a tough Colgate team, it's been in the NCAA tournament multiple times, 3 in a row. Yeah. And now you play a neutral site game against your rival, and you're going to end up going 4-1 in that stretch. And I'm sure Brad Underwood would say, I'll take that.
They're 8-2 on the year. 1-0 in Big Ten play. Going to get Luke Goody back into the game, along with Marcus Damask for Illinois. Noah Carter at the free throw line here. Illinois, number 13 team in the country, looking for win number 9 on their season tonight. And this one always means a little more. Guerrier has been red hot from 3 all night. That one contested. This has been the theme of the night. Second chance opportunities, leading to second chance buckets.
That is just pure strength right there from Quincy Guerrier. The hustle by Illinois, though, has been a constant all night long. 50-50 ball here. You've got both Shannon and Goody there. Sean East just trying to take a foul, and Guerrier just too strong for it.
They're looking at that last foul over at the monitor right now. Quincy Guerrier has had himself a night. 23 points now.
He has just come alive here for Illinois. Now over these last 3 games. Sean East just trying to keep Guerrier from being able to get it to the rim. I think the argument would be that it's really not a basketball play as he grabs him.
So talk about the Big Ten right now. There was a big weekend for the Big Ten this past weekend. You had some big wins. Michigan State beat Baylor in convincing fashion in Detroit. We had that one on Fox. Nebraska went to Kansas State and won. Ohio State with the win over UCLA. Of course, your Boilermakers with a big win to get back up to #1 in the country, beating Arizona. It was a 9-2 weekend overall for the big win. Then you see a few of these teams carrying those wins over into some non-conference action. But it was a big weekend for the conference. Illinois trying to continue that here. Illini, one of 3 teams in the top 25 for the Big Ten. So they're going to call this a flagrant 1 here after review. So it's going to be 2 shots coming up for Quincy Guerrier.
Yeah, going to be a flagrant 1. Wasn't a legitimate basketball play on the ball. See East just kind of grab him there. It's certainly a dangerous play, not a basketball play, and it's an easy one for the rest.
Robbie, it's holiday season. Quincy Guerrier, Montreal, native his family is of Haitian descent. He said his favorite family food is his grandmother's Haitian food.
Nice.
That she makes.
Grandma's food is always the best food.
Always good.
Always is.
Illinois will have the ball back as well after those free throws. Ball just doesn't stick.
It doesn't. This thing's been swinging around the perimeter. You've got dribble drives. You've got driving kicks. And now you got the mask just going and drilling a fadeaway.
Little one-legged jumper with some style. Loose ball. They've seemingly gone to Illinois most of the time. Guerrier had to save that. Going to stick with the Illini here.
That might be the first poor decision that Terrence Shannon's made all night. He has just been so good. So many facets. 28 and 10 rebounds, 4 assists as well. Trying to force the issue there. Illinois has run all night long. They're not going to stop now.
Damask called glass. 29-point lead, and it's opened up in St. Louis. Kurt Lewis, and 1 opportunity.
We'll talk about Missouri. Certainly a missed opportunity here in a non-conference full of missed opportunities. The schedule is not easy. You play Kansas. Certainly the Memphis game now looks much more challenging than maybe it was thought of when they played in November. But the Jackson State loss is a killer. And certainly the effort against Seton Hall was not good enough. And then tonight, they've just kind of gotten steamrolled by the better team.
Yeah, that was a letdown at home against Jackson State as well. Terrence Shannon Jr.
No one's guarding him now. He's wide open. He's got 28 points.
His 6th career double-double tonight. 10 rebounds as well. Healthy this season. Second chance opportunity again. Oh, Goody's calling for it. Maybe a reload. There it is.
How many times have we said tonight that Ty Rodgers just making another effort play on the offensive glass? Rodgers is just flying in here. Set your shooter up not once but twice, more often than not, especially with a guy like Goody who stroke it with the best of them. Ty Rodgers just a menace on those offensive boards.
Brad Underwood's been so proud of his team, especially coming off the finals week and going into the Colgate game. Robbie, you know this as a player. Brad Underwood pointed out it's really difficult going into a game after finals week because players are leaving practice at different times. It's just very disjointed.
There's a lot going on. Guys are in and out of practice. You're studying for exams. Yeah, I thought the way they came out and just handled business was a very mature feel for a group that maybe lacked some maturity last year. And it's been a totally different story. How about Ty Rodgers, though? I mentioned the rebounds. He's got 8, and 5 of them are on the offensive glass. That's coming off a game where he tied his career high with 8 rebounds, but the work on the offensive glass kind of just really stood out.
They've been the best rebounding team in the Big Ten. Gary A.
There's another one.
Oh, Rodgers.
A new career high of 9.
Yeah. Inside of 4 to go. Fading. Why not?
Wow. That should have been an and one, honestly. There was plenty of contact. Well, Terrence Shannon is just competing, and they're up 30 points.
He is omnipresent. Now he helps up Tamar Bates.
I hope he's okay, though. He stumbled through to the front court.
Yeah, it came up a little gimpy. They wipe up that wet spot. Lavar Majak is checked in for the first time for Missouri. Bucket there from Sean East.
And that strong left hand to just fillet that up there.
Speaking of fillets, how about this fillet of a fadeaway?
Terrence Shannon just doing his thing. Spin.
Illinois has got a big chance this year in the Big Ten. And most people right now feel like they could be the second best team in the conference at the moment. But they want to tell you we're the best. And Brad Underwood knows his team is still growing and improving, but he really, really loves coaching this group.
Plenty of talent and certainly a team that can play in a number of ways. And that makes them incredibly dangerous.
Yeah,
because of the way they guard and rebound. And certainly the diversity on defense. You know, you play Coleman Hawkins at the 5. Dane Dange is a good player. He's hardly played tonight because Hawkins has the advantage at the 5 spot. Terrence Shannon going to take a seat. What a night he had. 30 and 11. Got to the line 16 times, 9 of 14 from the field.
Just ignited the break, which really got them out to that big lead early.
He started all that.
He started everything.
The tempo was set by Terrence Shannon.
How about those smiles in the Illini bench as well? Well deserved tonight.
Different feel from what a year ago was.
Lewis.
He's been a bright spot for Missouri tonight. Up at the rim in the first half. Another bucket here at the basket in the second. Now drilling a three.
Missouri will get some injured guys back. Caleb Grill is a player they hope to have back at some point. He plays about 25 minutes per game for them, but in the meantime, he'd love to have someone emerge. Maybe Kurt Lewis is one of those guys. Gives Lawhorn in the game for the Fighting Illini. In the corner, Gary loves that corner.
I mean, every three he's made has been from that left corner. And give credit to DeMass for passing up a good look to get a better one for Guerrier.
It's the left corner counter for Quincy Guerrier. Jordan Butler is one of the 3 7-footers, and they're all pretty young for this Missouri team. He drains a triple there, his 3rd of the season.
It's going to be interesting for Missouri to see just kind of who Dennis Gates continues to rotate with. You know, East, Honor, and Carter have been the staples of the lineup. Bates seemingly finding a spot in the starting lineup the last 5 games, but he's been trying to find the best combinations that work for this group.
Gives Lawhorn. Tried to join the 3-point party and a tie-up. Been a battle on the glass all night. Illini continuously in there. Don't forget, this holiday season, help Fox Sports and Good Sport give the gift of play to kids in need. Scan the QR code on your screen and handpick equipment from your favorite sport to donate today. Really good cause. Guerrier checks out there to an applaud. And he's going to be such a good leader for this team this year. On the Illinois side of things, the grad student transfer from Oregon just did so many things well today. Illini are 115 away from celebrating a bit of a revenge victory tonight in St. Louis against a Mizzou team that beat them handily a year ago here. Script has flipped around in the bragging rights game tonight. Butler.
Crazy to see one end of the building empty, the other staying up the entirety of the game.
That's this game, the split crowd. Meanwhile, the bucket goes down for Amani Hansberry, freshman from Silver Spring, Maryland.
They're high on him. He can really rebound. He's with a high basketball IQ. Brad Underwood and his staff think that he is a real future for this program.
He was the 2023 Maryland Gatorade Player of the Year. Not an easy state to do that in. Now Illinois is going to get Max Williams into the game. Chicago native. He transferred from DePaul. Senior guard.
This is where shot clock's at 30, game clock's about 36. If you're Max Williams, you've got to, this is your chance.
Yep.
You've got to find a way to get one up here.
He's 0 for 1 on the season. We'll see. Labor Majak checks back in, one of the captains from Mizzou. Robinson, speaking of freshmen with a lot of potential, gets that free throw to go. Mizzou going to drop their 3rd straight game. Played tough against Kansas and Seton Hall. Couldn't match the energy of the Illini tonight. Ty Rodgers. Now A.J. Red. The walk-on. Red. Oh, he got it to go! Was originally a student manager, then walked on.
Quite the move for a student manager. Killer crossover.
Three at the buzzer, but far too little, far too late for Mizzou. And Illinois comes out on top in the bragging rights game, 97-73. They get the victory and get win number 9 on the season. Well, let's go to Mike Hill and Coach Jordan in our FS1 College Hoops.